कसको पाली हो अब रोजी नै होइन
Yes, sir.
लेट्स वेट शिवानीको रेडी हो
Yes, sir.
प्लिज स्टार्ट
Okay, sir. Um,
तिमी सुरु गर एन्ड देन
mhm.
मिनवाइल रोजिना आइसकेपछि एन्ड देन विल स्टार्ट विल कन्टिन्यू गर्दा
Okay, thanks. Uh,
स्क्रिन म्याक्सिमाइज गरिदेऊ एन्ड देन स्टार्ट
Good morning, everyone. The topic of my presentation is insomnia. Insomnia is a sleeping disorder where the person suffering from it finds difficulty in falling asleep or staying asleep, even when they have the chance to do so. And people with insomnia can feel dissatisfied or discontent with their sleep and usually experiences one or more of the following defects like fatigue, low energy, difficulty in concentrating, mood disturbances, and decreased performance in job, school, or at any other places. There are basically five types of insomnia, and they are acute, chronic, comorbid, maintenance, and onset insomnia. Acute insomnia can be termed as short-term insomnia. It is a brief episode of difficulty in sleeping and it can be resolved without any treatment. It is usually caused by daily life events such as stressful change in person's job, receiving bad news, jet lag while traveling, etc. Chronic insomnia is a long-term pattern of difficulty in sleeping. It is considered chronic if a person has trouble in falling asleep or staying awake since a long time and it has a different causes to it. Comorbid insomnia occurs with another condition like psychiatric symptoms such as anxiety and depression that are known to be associated with changes in sleep. Maintenance insomnia is the inability to stay asleep or maintain a consistent sleep ritual. The people with maintenance insomnia wake up during the night and has difficulty in returning back to their sleep. The effect of insomnia is that whatever your reason for the sleep loss is, it can affect you both physically and mentally, or even emotionally. And it is often reported that the people with insomnia have a lower quality of life as compared to those who are sleeping well. And the insomniac sleep is quite light and unrefreshing too. Some of the complications of insomnia may include lower performance at school or job that may create psychiatric problems like depression and anxiety. The person either loses their weight or gains a lot, and that henceforth also increases the risk and severity of long term fatal diseases like high blood pressure, diabetes, heart disease, etc. And it may even lead to substance abuses like drugs and alcohol. The major causes of insomnia are poor sleep routine and sleeping environment, lifestyle factors like the diets or nutrients that you take and the amount of exercises that you do on a regular basis, stress and anxiety, again, one of the major reason, mental and physical health conditions, and even some medications too. Treatment of insomnia. Insomnia is curable, and some type of acute insomnia may not even require a treatment. Some mild to moderate insomnia can be prevented by practicing good sleeping habit and pattern. The chronic type of insomnia can make it hard for people to function during the day because of sleeplessness and irritability or tiredness. Then they can go to a psychiatrist or any healthcare provider and get the consultation done. And the doctor may prescribe them with sleeping pills or drug for a limited time. Yoga and meditation can also help to greater extent. Here are some pictures of people dealing with insomnia. This is it. Thank you for listening.
The question is एकदम generalistic approach बाट है
Also,
generalistic approach बाट define अथवा explain insomnia number one, and the question that adjoins is how does lifestyle how does what has insomnia to do with certain people's lifestyles.
insomnia can affect people of any age group, like be it from a child or an adult or any. So the impact that it has on lifestyle is that the exercises that we do and the diet of food that we eat majorly impacts the lifestyle of ours mm, and apart from the lifestyle, genetics all and stress management also has a major factor.
Okay, but on a very generalistic approach, how do you define? How would you define insomnia? So, how would you describe insomnia as such?
Insomnia is just as sensitive as any other disease, and it has um, it is not. Uh, it's normal to have insomnia, and the people should be more aware of it and its effects. And if you feel that you have insomnia, then you can address it on time and just uh,
Okay, thank you, Roshan. Radio.
Yes, sir.
Okay, somebody please call up Rosina and ask her to join. किनभने I don't see her around. आज उसको पाली हो हैन. अब willingly you're not wanting to come, you're not wanting to present, you're losing 10 marks upfront. एकदम straight away है. I have been telling you, please mobile data use गर्न सकिन्छ, internet छैन भने. I have been doing this. I have been practicing it on my own हैन. There are different methods. तर अब if you don't have the right willingness, there's nothing I can do. है त्यो कुरामा मैले केही गर्न मिल्दैन. Somebody please call her up. Meanwhile, जब Roshan is preparing, please call her up and then ask her to join. Now, you start losing marks. Right? Whatever is the problem, I do not know. If there's a serious problem, talk to me, email me, let me know. Roshan, start.
Good morning, everyone. Today I will be presenting on the topic of legalization of marijuana. First of all, what is marijuana? Marijuana is a green, brown, or grey mix of dried shredded leaves, stems, seeds, and flowers. Mainly, marijuana consists of two major elements, that is THC and CBD. THC is a compound that is psychoactive and gives the feeling of being high, whereas CBD counteracts the effect of THC. As we know that marijuana is one of the highly consumed drug around the world. It is widely used whether it is legal or not on that place. They buy marijuana from the local distributors or smugglers, and it becomes one of the major problems of the government to control and minimize it. But also the majority of the people are in the favor of legalizing marijuana because it is far less dangerous than the some other legal drugs such as alcohol and tobacco. Now, uses of marijuana. Marijuana can be used in different forms. Some of them are recreational use. Marijuana can be used to reduce anxiety and as a relaxation aid. Medicinal use. Marijuana has been found for medical purpose throughout the history, and it is effective in relieving vomiting and chronic pain. Industrial use. The hemp plant has many agricultural and industrial uses and could be used in many products such as biofuel, bioplastics, textiles, etc. Religious use. Hindus, Buddhists, and members of few other religions have been known to use cannabis during the religious ceremonies. Now, the advantages of legalizing marijuana. Economy and tax benefits. Marijuana helps to increase tax revenues, job growth, and investment opportunities. Establishing a legal cannabis industry creates a range of skilled and unskilled jobs. Boost inflow of tourists. Tourism has become one of the main sources of income for many developing countries like Nepal, and legalization helps to boost the inflow of tourists. For example, just imagine that the inflow of tourists in Nepal, when they hear that they can smoke marijuana sleeping in the lap of Sagarmatha. Proper regulation. A standard requirement for legalized cannabis market include product testing, which means consumers know more about the product they are using to protect children from the exposure of cannabis. Child resistant packaging can be implemented. It is natural. Marijuana is naturally occurring plants, and it can be grown in any types of soil, and it has been successfully used for thousands of years. Improve access to health patients. Cannabis is used to treat vomiting, chronic pain, anxiety, etc. If cannabis is legalized for recreational use, then people using for medicinal purposes will have greater access to better, uh, better medicine at a more affordable prices. Uh, Disadvantages of legalizing marijuana: increased use. Marijuana use could be increased if it is legalized, and people can get easily get access to it. Traffic accidents will rise. Driving under the influence of marijuana is just as dangerous as driving under the influence of alcohol. Health risks. Marijuana use can cause negative health effects like contributing to lung problem. Exposure to drug. Children can be more exposed to the drug and its use. Gateway. It is also known as the gateway drug, which means it opens the door to more dangerous drugs such as cocaine and heroin. Now, in conclusion, marijuana has been an effective medicine for thousands of years. Medical research on marijuana could be easily performed, possibly exposing more medicinal uses. We have a drug that is known, non-addictive, has valuable resources, can act as a medicine, and is number one cash crop in the most years. Now it is the time for marijuana to be legalized in order to benefit the country as a whole. Thank you.
Now that you've chosen a topic of legalizing marijuana, how would you justify your topic? Athava, why do you think marijuana should be legalized at the first place?
Yes, sir.
Why do you think marijuana should be legalized?
Because marijuana has many health effects rather than it has. It is the marijuana is as useful as uh, in the
Yes, Roshan, are you there?
yes, sir.
Why should it be legalized?
Because it has many health benefits.
Okay, you think it should be legalized just because it has health benefits? Any other reason?
And it helps to boost the economy and tax benefits.
How would you boost द इकोनोमी थ्रु लिगलाइजिङ म्यारिजुआना म्यारिजुआनालाई लिगलाइज गरेर इकोनोमी कसरी बुस्ट गर्नुहुन्छ त तपाईँ इङ्ग्लिसमा
with the legalization of marijuana, there can be the we can marijuana has many industrial products. By the help of marijuana, we can
ओके थ्याङ्क यू भन
marijuana has many agricultural and industrial uses. With the help of marijuana, many products are produced, such as biofuel, bioplastics, and with the help of marijuana, we can produce products, and it has to provide employment opportunities.
ल धन्यवाद एकीकृत रेडी हो
सर
ल स्टार्ट
क्यू शेयर को बटन थिच्दैन सर
टेक इट राइट टेन्सन छैन
देखिए सर इज इट विजिबल सर
स्क्रिन मैक्सिमाइज गरिदेऊ इट्स विजिबल यस
yes Hello everyone. Today we are here to launch our new product, Bell Alienware G7. Talking about our company, Bell is a Chinese multinational company that specializes in technological products focused mainly on computers and its related products. It was founded on 13th April 2016 by founders Shi Zhaoling and Ang Xingling. Alienware. Alienware is a subsidiary of Bell that is dedicated to gaming products. Its product line consists of gaming computers, laptops, monitors, mouse, keyboards, headsets, and so on. Introducing the new Alienware G7. Experience gaming like never before with the new Alienware G7. Being the thinnest and most compact of our laptops, user experience is very delightful. The laptop boasts its 11th Gen Intel processor and is being called the world's most powerful sub-16mm 15-inch gaming laptops by the beta testers. Talking about its display, the G7 has a 15.6-inch display with two options, 1080p resolution with 360Hz refresh rate and 1440p resolution with 240Hz refresh rate. Comfort view that reduces eye strain is also available optionally according to the user's desires. In the performance sector, G7 boasts the 11th Gen Intel Core i9 11900H, which is a high-end octa-core processor specifically designed for laptops and mobile workstations. It is based on the powerful Tiger Lake H45 processor. The base clock speed is 2.5 GHz and the max clock speed reaches up to 4.9 GHz. The CPU offers 24 MB level 3 cache and supports DDR4 3200 memory. Exclusive features include a storage up to 4 TB, a window Helio IR camera for biometric login, which is basically a face unlock feature, and improvements in thermal management compared to the previous gen laptops by adding liquid cooling, which is very rare in laptops of this size. The specifications include the Intel Core i9 processor that we talked about before, Windows 10 Home English, NVIDIA GeForce RTX 3080 graphics card with 8 GB DDR6 memory, which is very enough for high-end graphic games and graphic designing tasks. 32 GB DDR4 memory, which is the RAM of the device. 2 TB solid state drive, which is enough for all the huge games that the user intends to play. And Lunar Light with high endurance clear coat designed for stain resistance. Our product starts at $399 with as low as $102 monthly payments. Thank you.
What was the cost of your product?
$399.99.
$399 ki 3,399.
It's 3,399 days.
होइन त्यहाँ स्लाइडमा 3,399 चाहिँ भन्दाखेरि 399 भन्यो. Okay. Coming to the question, number one, in this age of computer gaming, computer gaming has become, it has risen to one of the most sought after activities that earn you good or a handsome amount of money. Yes, different individuals have their style or uh, their preferred laptops or desktops used for gaming purposes. How would you justify your product, or uh, how would you sell your product uh, in okay, let me reframe the question. How would you sell your product stating that this would be a better option than the other competitors? What advantage does your laptop give?
In a 15-inch laptop, in this size, the thermal cooling system of other laptops are very poor compared to this laptop. And
Mhm.
the processor is also very powerful, combined with the 3080 8 GB uh, graphics card, which is also very rare in laptops of this size. It provides portability and also the performance of high-end bulky laptops.
Okay. Why do you think a gamer should, or why do you think a gamer would buy your laptop in competition to other gaming laptops?
Due to the powerful processor combined with 32 GB RAM and also the latest graphics card, which can handle almost any game of this time.
Okay. And what do you have to say about your pricing strategy? Is it not a bit expensive, $3,399?
The other laptops of this caliber are about $5,000 in
Okay.
price. So
Okay. Well, then that's it. Thank you so much, Ekikrit. Our Pratham,
Yes, sir.
Suru. Next, Barun, get ready. Barun pachi, let me see.
रेडी नै छ सर
मेरो
Khusbu
स्क्रिन
आज
देख्नु भएको
आएको
छ सर?
छैन. हजुर.
सर
मेरो स्क्रिन
आएको
देख्नु भएको छ?
छु
Okay. प्रथम Barun अनि Khusbu. Okay. Maximize गरिदियो screen. Start.
You guys can see my screen, right? So good morning, everyone. Today I will be giving a short presentation on the topic global warming. So in this presentation, I will be talking about the introduction to global warming, causes, greenhouse effect, diagram to explain greenhouse effect, effects of global warming, ways to control it, and prediction for future. So first, introduction. So to talk about global warming, we must first know what is global warming. So the rapid increase in Earth's average surface temperature is global warming, and these are other things you know of global warming. That global warming is one of the most dangerous events currently occurring in Earth. It is so dangerous that it could potentially end all life on Earth. It was discovered in 1896 by Swedish scientist Svante Arrhenius, and causes of global warming. The main cause of global warming is increase in greenhouse gases, which is done by use of fossil fuel, use of chemical fertilizers, the gases from factory, and pollution. And other causes are volcanic eruption and deforestation. Deforestation means the cutting of trees in a huge amount, and greenhouse effect. So, what is greenhouse effect? When the sun rays are trapped on Earth's atmosphere, it is called greenhouse effect. When the sun rays are trapped in Earth's atmosphere, it increases the temperature of Earth. The sun rays are trapped with the help of some greenhouse gases like carbon dioxide, water vapor, methane, nitrous oxide. So this is the diagram to explain greenhouse effect. So when the sun rays comes from the sun, some of the sun rays hit the earth and bounce back to the space, while some of the sun rays are trapped inside the earth's atmosphere with the help of greenhouse gases. The more greenhouse gases there is present in the earth's atmosphere, the more sun rays it will trap and the earth's temperature will increase. So effects of global warming. The main effect of global warming is climate change. As you all know, climate change is a very dangerous thing. It makes summer more warmer and winter more cold, and and makes rain fall in a huge amount, and sometimes it doesn't rain at all. And when and melting, and the second point is melting of ice. When the temperature of Earth increases, the ice present in the mountain caps and polar region starts to melt, which directly leads us to third point, which is increase in sea level. Um, when the ice in polar region of the Earth melts, the sea level rises, and it affects on plant and animal as well. So due to climate change, there might be frequent occurrence of flood, tsunami, and drought. When there is a rain in a huge amount, it causes flood, and when there is no rainfall, it causes drought. And when there is rise in sea level in a huge amount, it causes tsunami. So ways to control global warming. The first way to control global warming is afforestation. By planting many trees, we can decrease the level of greenhouse gases in atmosphere and increase oxygen level. Similarly, use of organic fertilizers. In agriculture sector, by using chemical fertilizers, it produces nitrous oxide, which is also a greenhouse gases. Another point is the use of alternate source of energy. The sources of energy like wind energy, solar energy, and hydro energy must be used to prevent global warming. And we can also have different organizations like 350.org and Asia Pacific Adaptation Network. And these are some predictions for future if the global warming doesn't stop and it continues in increasing rate. Some of the predictions are as follows. By the year 2050, the sea level will be increased by 30 centimeters, causing the island countries like Maldives, Somia, and Kiribati to be sink inside the ocean. And by the year 2200, global temperature will be increased by 7 degrees Celsius, making half of the Earth inhabitable, or also known as desertification. And thank you.
Okay. How would you describe global warming and its effects?
Excuse me, sir.
How would you define global warming in your own terms? How would you describe global warming? And after the description, uh, explain about its effects also.
Uh, Global warming, as the word says, global warming, the globe warms in a the earth warms in temperature in whole in average.
Okay. And what happens? What does that mean? How does that impact the earth?
The main effect is climate change, as I already said. When the temperature rises, the ice cap melts and sea level rises, and also it may make many species of animal extinct because some of the animal are used to living in cold regions. Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Next,
Thanks.
Barun,
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
start. Khusbu, get ready. यसपछि तिम्रो पाली.
So screen है.
आयो.
So hello and good morning to everyone today. I'm going to present about online games. Today we are going to discuss about introduction, benefit of online games, disadvantage of online games, types of online games, and there are more categories of games, but I choose only two, which I also play personally: shooting and adventure. So first of all, let's start with introduction. Online games. Online games is either partially or primarily played through internet or any other computer network available. We can play online games with friends. Also, we can play solo. It's depend upon you. Everybody have played games once in their life, and we all know how interesting and fun it can be. So this was the introduction. Let's start with benefit of online games. Stress relief. Online games helps in stress relief by letting us forget reality moment for a certain time and also helps us to relax and be happier, especially at the end of long and tiresome day. Skill development. Online games can be opportunity to earn money through your skill development by focusing on certain games and improving it to the high level. Staying in this. While games depend heavily on short-term memory and they also have been proven to improve long-term memory, boredom often lead to mental stagnant and online games helps us to remove that boredom. In next interaction. Due to online games, we could talk to other players, which helps us to interact and develop our leadership skill and speaking skills. Entertainment. As we all know, games helps us to forget reality time for a certain time, and we can enjoy our virtual life. Everybody have played the game, and we all know it's entertainment. Disadvantage of online games: behavior and mental changes. People who spend hours in gaming may be violent, and he or she might lose interest in environment that surrounds them. This will lead to an undeveloped personality because the person never likes to go outside and in outside the virtual world. Lack of other hobbies and poor academic performance. While the video game is also a hobby, overspending time on them will make a person from learning new things and playing outdoor games less. And Eric will always think of gaming sacrificing other things that are more something more important than gaming, like studying, sports, socializing, etc. Addiction and slow down brain growth. There are a lot of games that helps in brain development, but impacting critical thinking skills at the same time. Playing video games for hours every day also result in slow down in brain development. Gaming addiction. Once you do good in online games, you want to improve more to show off to the other players, which leads us to have addiction to game, and it is also a disadvantage. Affect eyesight and also result in insomnia. Insomnia is a disease we all know. As we all know that spending more time in video games or computer screen leads us to have poor eyesight. So these are the disadvantages of online games. Now let's move on to types of games. The first type is shooting. Shooting games, also known as first-person shooters, is centered on a gun and other weapon-based combat with player experience in the action through the eye of protagonist. Protagonist means the player or the character, and controlling the player character in a three-dimensional space. Example like Counter-Strike, Apex Legends, and PUBG. Another type of online game is adventure. Adventure games is a video game in which players assume the role of protagonist in an interactive story driven by exploration and puzzle solving. The game fully played through the perspective of protagonists in a fictional world. Many adventure games are designed for single player, but most of them are online. So examples like God of War, GTA, and this Far Cry 4. But this game's Far Cry 4 is in this game the story of programming based on Nepal. Even it is in foreign game development by Uplay, so it is my one of the favorite game. So let's move on to most game played, the most played games like PUBG, Dota 2, Battlefield, more likely Call of Duty, and Minecraft. These are the games you can download from anywhere and spend your virtual life enjoyable. Thank you.
What impact does gaming have on the youth?
Usually, youth like gaming more than anything. Youth like to play, spend time playing games rather than going outside.
Mhm.
So I think that's the impact on the youth.
Does it kill their creativity at some point?
Uh, yeah, I guess yes, because at some point, they don't go outside, enjoy the reality life. They stayed in the house and play the game in the virtual world. So I think it
Mhm.
managed it.
Okay, if this was the dark side, what do you
Mm.
think could be the advantages of such online games?
Mm, I don't seem to have a bright side. Also, both it's like a coin. There's head also and tail also.
Okay,
So
talk about the brighter side. No, we just finished about the darker side,
yeah.
saying that it kills the creativity aspect. But how would you put it forward from a brighter perspective?
Brighter perspective. A person who is unemployed can earn money through learning skill development in the game. It can be enjoyable if you played less time, I guess.
Yeah. Okay, thank you, Barun. Now
Thank you so much.
next over to Khusbu.
Okay, stop screening. Okay, thank you.
Sorry, screen आइरहेछ
आइरहेछ हजुर सुरु गरौँ
drugs contents definition of drugs types of drugs negative effects of substance abuse characteristics la uh, definition of drugs types of drugs negative effects of substance abuse characteristics of drug addict drug effects ways to prevent drug addiction. Definition of drug. A drug is any substance, solid, liquid, or gas that brings about physical or psychological changes. The drugs of the most concern in the community are those that affect the central nervous system. They act on the brain and can change the way a person thinks, feels, or behaves. Types of drugs. Laws and regulations decide if some drug is legal or illegal and control the availability, quality, and the price of the legal drugs. Negative effects of substance abuse systematic hypothermia, malnutrition, impaired immune system, circulatorily, high blood pressure, vessel damage in brain, clotting and stroke, heart, chest pain, rapid heart rate, heart attack, eyes, dilated pupils, mouth, grinding of teeth, skin, sweating, numbness, respiratory, shortness of breath, muscular, jerky movements, increased activity, convulsions, loss of coordination. Characteristics of drug addict frustration tolerance, low self-esteem, assertiveness poor, need for social approval, systematic denial of standards, patent predisposition of for mental diseases, genetic predisposition to addiction. Drug effects. A person's physical characteristics such as height, weight, and gender also influence how a drug affects them. Depressants affect concentration and coordination and can cause unconsciousness, vomiting, and even death. Stimulants can cause anxiety, panic, seizures, headaches, stomach cramps, aggression, and paranoia. Some effects of hallucinogens includes dilation of pupils, loss of appetite, increased activity, talking or laughing, emotional and psychological euphoria and well-being, clenching, sweating, panic, paranoia, lost contact, loss of contact with reality, irrational or bizarre behavior, stomach cramps, and nausea. Four ways to prevent drug addiction. Learn to deal with life's pressure. Don't give in peer pressure. Develop close family ties. Develop healthy habits. Choose life, not drugs. Thank you.
Look, uh, looking by the impact drug addiction has on youth, how do you think can a youth or can a young person fight against addiction?
Firstly, uh, don't give in to drug. Like, don't depend on it and don't depend on
No,
it and
he's already into. I mean to say he's already into drugs, right? He's already into
uh,
drugs. He already has inhabited this thing of addiction. How would you, how could he himself or his family, his friends, pull him out of that situation? The question was that.
the the people who are close to the person can help the person go through, come out of it by talking to them, making them realize about the things and the impact that may cause harm to him, impacts that will take place.
Mm.
अनि by by talking to them अनि
Ani?
being there for them mentally.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Anybody else? Baki sir, presentation ko lagi.
सर मेरो बाँकी छ हुनु बाँकी छ
Huh?
सर दिया र मेरो बाँकी रहेछ
Okay, Diya, start first.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Diya Limbu, and today I'll be doing a presentation on this topic called Paragon of Beauty. These are the contents that I'll be talking about in my presentation, starting with introduction. Let's look at the first point. The concept of beauty or beauty standard was first set in Greece and Rome about 2400 years ago. So, in ancient Rome and Greece, an ideal beauty of women was having light complexion, smooth skin, minimal body hair, long lashes, sharp nose, large almond shaped eyes, and the list goes on. So, had you been born in Rome and Greece during the ancient times, you'd want to look something like this. This was considered to be an ideal beauty during the ancient times. Originated from Greece, the idea of beauty has never been constant ever since, which brings us to the second point. The concept of beauty standard has been evolving and changing throughout the decades. Yes, I feel like beauty standard is a socially constructed notion which influences the way we perceive beauty. And it has been quite evident that through the history, beauty standards has evolved a lot with each passing generation. So basically, they are built into our societies and installed into our brains. Moving on to the third point, it is usually set for women. Now, I think from a very young age, women are raised to live up to the unrealistic beauty standards put upon them by the society. They are expected to have a certain body type, be hairless all over their bodies, have a fair complexion, a pretty face, and be an all around perfect, just like in the ancient times. Therefore, beauty standards for women is a deep rooted approach, especially in the male dominated societies. Moving on to another slide, let's take a look at how the world perceives beauty. The first point, it varies from culture to culture. Now, I think beauty does indeed lie in the eyes of beholder, and what's considered beautiful varies around the world. Likewise, the below mentioned list of countries and their symbols of beauty demonstrates that there's no single way to represent beauty. I'm going to show you the pictures as well for your better clarification. So here it goes. This is a picture of a young girl from Kayan tribe of Thailand, and to them, a woman's neck is considered the most important aspect of her figure. And because of this perspective, women wear brass rings around their necks, which help to elongate them. Over the years, they add more rings until they have a tall stack of rings to help their necks remain elongated. Likewise, this is a picture of a Maasai woman from Kenya. In Kenya, long stretched earlobes are considered beautiful. The women elongate their earlobes using various objects to stretch them out. The third picture is of a Maori women from New Zealand. In New Zealand, women have their faces tattooed with tribal tattoos, especially on the forehead and the chin. So, the more tattoos they have, the more beautiful they're considered. The last picture is of a Mercy woman from Ethiopia, and to them, the lip plate is a common form of body modification where the lower lip is stretched so that it can accommodate a disc. So these were few of the examples to show you that the concept of beauty actually varies from culture to culture, and it is more based on the beliefs that people hold. Let's take a look at what influences the notion of beauty in the present context. Through my previous slides, it has been quite obvious that when we talk about beauty, the first thing that strikes into our minds is physical appearance. The way we look like has become a parameter to measure our beauty and our worth, and this is one thing very similar to ancient times. We still focus on one's appearance, but the only thing that is different is the way we determine beauty and label what's beautiful or not on the basis of how a person looks. This has resulted in the false portrayal of beauty. Now, when we talk about the false portrayal of beauty, social media plays a very significant role in people's self image by informing and reflecting what people consider to be beautiful or attractive. And one of the ways in which they do so is through the common use of very thin and attractive models, often termed the thin ideals, which communicate the way that people believe they should look like in order to be attractive and desirable to others. Also, there are different aspects of appearance about which the media convey beauty ideals, including hair, skin, and facial features. Likewise, false advertisements play another major role in persuading us to believe that we are never good enough the way we are or the way we choose to be. For example, according to few brands that promote beauty products, if you don't have a fair complexion or a bright skin, you are certainly not lovely or handsome. And apparently, body hair is considered to be something very gross, hence the hair removal creams, which are quite harmful for your skin, by the way, because of the chemicals it contains. Also, aging, which is a very natural process in all human beings, is not considered good enough. Hence, the anti-aging creams to magically make you look younger. So these are few factors that have been influencing the notion of beauty in the present context, and it has some impacts as well. The first point, false idealization. I'd like to relate this point from one of the points from my previous slide, social media influence. Now, we live in an age where the whole world revolves around social media, and us being a part of this world, we often fail to differentiate between what's right and what's wrong, mainly because of the storming opinions of people on social media. In terms of teenagers, if they see someone with a good looking face and a huge number of followers on either of the social media platforms, that's the definition of perfection to them. They look up to these people who they consider to be beautiful on the basis of how they look, or at least how they portray themselves online. And they get so lost in idolizing them that they often forget that they have an identity of their own and they can make such a huge difference just by being themselves. Also, failing to reach that level of perfection or even being slightly different than what people label as beautiful, pretty, or perfect leads to the teenagers in having inferiority complex. Now, to those of you who don't know what it means, it is a feeling where a person thinks he or she lacks something, believing that they are inferior to others. Now, this type of feeling often results in them having low self esteem, insecurities issues, and eating disorders due to excessive dieting to look thin. And talking about insecurities, according to a survey in America, 53% of girls ranging from 14 to 21 years of age are not satisfied with their faces and their bodies, which eventually results in them feeling the need or the urge to opt for cosmetic surgeries. Now, I'm not totally against cosmetic surgeries. I think everyone has their own opinions and choices, and we should respect it. But to even think of changing their facial features through surgeries at such young age is the last thing they should be concerned about. And I personally feel that any operations that include anesthesia is already too dangerous. So performing such operations is not that safe, regardless of your age. Now, before I come to the main point of my presentation, I'd like to introduce you to few renowned personalities who have given their opinions with fair share of experience on beauty standards. She is Cameron Russell, a very famous American model who has represented many international brands and has modeled for over a decade. And in one of the episodes of TED Talks, she has said that image is powerful, but it is also very superficial. Meaning, what we see on the cover of magazines, the pretty looking models with very thin bodies, are not how they look like in real life at all. Their pictures are often being photoshopped to make them look more attractive, and they are valued solely for their appearance and treated like objects that exist to be looked at to sell products. Likewise, the second picture is of Melissa Butler, who is the founder of the Lip Bar. And in one of the interviews, she has disclosed that she launched Lip Bar because she was very frustrated with the beauty industry, as most beauty products were filled with unnecessary chemicals and most of them came in a limited range of colors. But most importantly, she felt that the depiction of beauty was very linear, so she started making lipsticks uh, in her kitchen because she believed a beauty shouldn't compromise health, and because she was determined not to change the way she looked like in order to fit into some superficial or trendy beauty standards. Sorry. Now, with that all being said, I come to the main point of my presentation, Paragon of Beauty. But I'm not going to tell you what ideal beauty standards are supposed to be or not supposed to be, because if I ask each one of you what beauty exactly means to you, I'm sure I'll have different answers to that question. Some of you might say beauty is about intelligence, or it's about possessing a pretty face and a good body, or it's about confidence or a good sense of humor. And that's completely fine because we all have different ways of viewing the world. We all have different perspectives, and what I consider to be beautiful doesn't necessarily mean that you should do, and vice versa. But I feel like the past generations and us as a generation have been prioritizing or emphasizing on physical appearance more than it's necessary. Like Melissa Butler said, that the depiction of beauty in the present context is too linear, as we're failing to recognize and acknowledge the various aspects of beauty. Now, those various aspects could be anything, such as intelligence, that's beautiful, kindness is beautiful, humility is beautiful, being confident in your own skin or your body, that's beautiful. But I think most importantly, embracing your flaws and accepting who you are, I think that's even more beautiful because at the end of the day, we're all human beings and none of us are perfect. But one very important question that we should ask ourselves is that if us as individuals who are finely built tend to feel so insecure about ourselves at some point of our lives, then how would people who are differently able feel realizing that they often don't fit into the so called beauty standards set by the society? They not only have to deal with their impairments, but also the social stigma that often comes with being disabled in our society. Now, apart from the constant judgments or psychological impacts or the false portrayal of beauty, I chose this topic because I feel like the concept of beauty, especially in our society, is so fragile that people think throwing acid on someone's face will destroy their lives or destroy them as a person. But little do they realize that a person's appearance is just a small part of who they are, but not a completion of them as a person. Uh, Sorry. She is Lakshmi Agarwal, who was attacked with acid in 2005 because she refused the marriage proposal of a 32-year-old man. And despite of the hardships and negative response from the society after the attack, she still managed to live life on her own terms by being the voice to millions of acid attack victims and survivors. Hence, this proves that you can damage a person's appearance but not their spirits. Now I come to the end of my presentation, and this is one of my favorite poems by Rupi Kaur, which basically sums up everything I've been trying to say through my presentation. In this poem, she tells that there are so many things that a woman can be, apart from being pretty or physically attractive, such as intelligent, resilient, or smart. Hence, there should never be a parameter to measure anyone's beauty or worth. So, lastly, I'd just like to say that do whatever you want that makes you happy, because at the end of the day, you're never going to be enough for others, but you need to make sure that you're enough for yourself. So love yourself the way you are and embrace yourself. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much for this wonderful presentation. Uh, as it is rightly
सर
said,
मेरो हेलो
beauty. हजुर हजुर
तपाईँको भोइस अलिक सानो आइरहेछ
अब आयो
एकैछिन है
ओके
अब भयो अब
अब भयो ओके well, as it is rightly said, beauty lies in the eye of the beholder. So there's no certain benchmark as of the physical appearance, the intelligence, or whatever you might term it in the benchmark. Coming to the question, we talked about, rather, you talked about the social media influences, celebrities that have impacted a huge lot of people. And then, you know, people have been going through identity crisis. People have been going through various surgeries, makeovers, in order to, in order to just be noticed. How does this trend rightfully impact the young people? Uh, how does this trend impact? How does this trend over the social media? How does it impact the normal youth?
So, like I
Would
just
be
said that, like I just discussed about the impacts such as
Mhm,
false idealization bio and mainly inferiority complex or low self-esteem
mhm,
and eating disorders. Those were the main things. But I feel like
mhm,
low self-esteem is one very important factor that these beauty standards have been influencing the people. And
okay.
being a girl, I can relate with these beauty standards even more because, like I just said, that there's always some judgments that people throw at us, no matter however we wish to carry ourselves.
Mhm,
So I feel like, yeah, and I've always been an introvert, and unfortunately, social media had lowered my self-esteem at one point of my life because there's so many pretty smart or perfect girls that I saw, and it's a very natural human instinct to envy someone who's better than us. And
mhm.
also, I felt like I was not good enough. So yeah, I think this is how these beauty standards impacts us.
Okay. Well, how do you suggest you've been focusing on the inferiority complex? How do you think over the media, you see, you look at somebody better, you look at some
I think by
perfect and given.
uh,
How can you
elim-
overcome it?
also,
How can
yeah,
you overcome the feeling of inferiority complex?
I think, like I just said, that social media influence and advertisements play a major role हुन्छ नि,
Mm-hmm.
in influencing us to believe these kinds of notions about beauty standards. So I
Yeah.
think by eliminating unrealistic concept of beauty, be it any type of advertisements, and focusing more on the well-being of people than their
Mm-hmm.
appearances. For example, there's a huge difference between telling people that you should purchase a product in order to have a fair skin and telling people that you should purchase a certain product for a healthy skin. So even while marketing, the same thing can be done in a good way or a positive way also. Another way is by being more inclusive of people, regardless of their skin color, their sex, their conditions, body type, or their race, in various advertisements to promote the feeling that beauty can be found uh, in diversity and to show that people's appearance don't make them beautiful, but how they are from within does. So yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
think this is how we can.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Okay. Ajalai, it's already 10:30. I'll end the session here. I have another class to take with a third year. So I'll end the session here. Just go back, sir. अब को बाँकी मोहित हो.
Mohit
Yes,
Rosina.
sir.
Okay. Ask Rosina to come on Friday. If she doesn't, she loses all of the 10 marks. Right? But if there is anything serious, please let me know. Right? Ask her to mail me. I'll look at that. Because हुन्छ नि अब सजिलो छैन situation is a bit dicey at this point in time. Everybody could have problems. If you have problems, open up, mail me, let me know. Well, that can be taken care of. तर जानी जानिकन बुझ पचाइकन म आउँदिनँ डु वाट एभर भन्ने टाइपको त्यो खालको एटिट्युड राखेर चाहिँ you'll be the one who's regretting at the end of the day. Let me make it very, very
Sir,
clear.
sir, Friday हुने हो?
Friday 9:30 देखि 10:30. 9:30 देखि whatever it is. दुईटा presentation बाँकी छ. We'll start at 9:30. Friday 9:30 मा we'll start, and then these two presentations पछि I'll wind up the class. The entire session, rather the semester gets comes to an end, and then we'll wind up the sessions. Your first semester को MCQ classes officially म end गरिदिन्छु. Sunday देखि तिमीहरूको प्री बोर्ड छँदैछ. राम्ररी पढ्ने, प्रिपेयर गर्ने. मेरो सब्जेक्टमा मैले भनिहालेँ. It's all about these questions, right? Analytical based अथवा analytical type of questionsहरू मात्र हो. ल, see you guys on Friday. Thank you so much.
Ekikrit.